Bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
This is the Verizon Extra Innings Show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in St. Louis.
The winning run at the plate in Ryan O'Hearn, the former Kansas City Royal. The pitch, a swing and a ground ball to the first baseman. Contreras underhands to Helsley. That's a Redbird winner. O'Hearn is out 3-1, and this ball game has come to an end. The Orioles strand 2 in the ninth, and the Cardinals win their 8th series in the last 10. They're 8-1-1 in the last 10 series. The final 6-4.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Cardinals get the win today. Come from behind fashion. 6-4, the final score. 6 runs on 12 hits, as 9 of those 12 hits come from the top 3 spots in the order. Multiple hits from Nootbaar, Wynn, and Donovan. That's a good win today for the Cardinals, especially on a day that a guy who's been pitching really well recently was not locked in Miles Michaelis, who went just 4 innings, allowing 4 runs on 9 hits. Bullpen picked him up, the bats picked him up, and the Cardinals do get the 6-4 victory. Welcome in. It's the Extra Innings Show here on KMOX. If you'd like to join the program, by the way, we are brought to you by Graybar. Graybar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Here's how you get connected with the program tonight. If you want to call or text, we welcome in those phone calls. We welcome in those text messages. All you got to do is get at us at 314-436-7900. That's 314-436-7900. Same number, whether you are calling or texting. We would love to talk to you tonight. If you would rather tweet at me, that is an option for you as well. At Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. And for those of you who are watching us on the video stream, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we are on Twitter. You can leave a comment in the chat, and we will respond to that as we see those as we go along. For those of you who listen on the radio, well, we love you listening to the radio, but if you ever want to see the video version of this or anything else, here at KMOX Sports, we do a lot of Cardinals programming. We've got the Gas House Gang every day at noon. We've got Redbird Rush Hour at 5 o'clock. Sports on a Sunday morning with Tom Ackerman every Sunday, obviously. I've got Sports Open Line most nights when there's not Cardinals baseball. If you like and subscribe to the KMOX Sports YouTube channel, you can watch these live broadcasts of all of our different sports programming, and you can get the notifications and everything on your phone whenever we go live. So I would encourage you to do that as well. But we try to get to wherever you happen to be, whether it's listening or watching. We are here for you as we want to talk all things Cardinals baseball, and this was a really good one. This was a really good win today. Down, it's not apples to apples here, but in some ways it reminds me of the game that the Cardinals played against the Philadelphia Phillies, where they had to come back and get the win. Because that was the Sonny Gray game where Gray was not particularly good. The game that the Cardinals won by a 14-7 score, if you remember. And what happened in that game is the Cardinals got down early, and then they got back into it, and Gray gave up some runs, and then they really took over after that. Again, not the exact same thing happening in this game, but the Cardinals get down early, 3-0 after 2 innings. They get back into it with a 2 spot in the 4th, and what happens? Michaelis comes back out, gives up the run in the bottom of the 4th, and you're kind of thinking to yourself, okay, did you really need a 0 to be put up in that spot? No, you didn't, because this is the Cardinals, and they're relentless right now, and they come back with the 3-run 5th inning, and and from there they were really good. And how about the bullpen? Every guy, and this wasn't the normal group of relief pitchers that we see in tight games. When Michaelis is only able to go 4 innings, combine that with the fact there's an off day tomorrow, so you can be a little bit more liberal with the way you use your bullpen. They go to Kyle Leahy in the 5th. And I thought to myself when Leahy came in the 5th, I'm thinking, man, they got to get multiple innings out of this guy. This is your 7th or 8th inning guy. This isn't really setting up the bullpen to be able to be successful. Man, was I wrong in having that thought. So Leahy wasn't great. 1 hit, 2 walks that he gives up in his 1+, but he got the job done. Didn't give up a run. That's all that ends up mattering. This might be John King's best game of the season. He gets 2 strikeouts coming in with a runner on. Looked fantastic. Oh, yeah, by the way, John King's ERA is down to 3.72 if you haven't been paying attention. Phil Maton does his thing. Jojo Romero looks like he's fixed. He comes in for the 8th. Looked really, really good. If you can get Romero back to what he's been at his best with the Cardinals and add that into the high leverage group, that's going to make this bullpen that much better. And then let's have a moment of appreciation for Ryan Helsley, because there's a lot made of how often Helsley is used or not used. He just pitched his second back-to-back over the last week. So he pitched on Friday and Saturday against Arizona, and then he goes Tuesday, Wednesday. Now, there were 2 days off, but that means he's pitching 4 out of 6, and he's pitching back-to-back twice. He's got the off day tomorrow, all of that, and he gives up a couple hits. But that is, I don't think they love doing that with Helsley, but this was a game they really wanted to win today. Not that there's a game that they don't want to win, but this was an important game, an opportunity to win a 2-run game there in the 9th inning. So Helsley was able to take care of business, and it was really good to see. So and then offensively, I mentioned the top 3 hitters, all with 9 of the Cardinals' 12 hits today. Mason Wynn, are you kidding me? Goes 4 for 5 today. I gave this number during the network postgame show, but it's worth giving again. Mason Wynn as the 2-hitter this year. Where is that? Let me get that once again. Mason Wynn batting second is hitting .323. His OPS is .950. It's a combination of a .402 on base and a .548 slug. It's a lot of what the Cardinals have done offensively. I'm not saying anything that is like groundbreaking here. It's just baseball. But the way you score runs and the way you have a really good group of individuals who can go out and score runs is you have a deep lineup. And when Wynn got it going once again, once he moved into the 2 spot, it just really lengthens this lineup. Going 9 through, let's say, 6 or 9 through 5, whatever you want to go. So, Victor Scott the second in the 9 spot, and then it turns over to Nootbaar, Wynn, Donovan, Contreras, Herrera. That's really, really good. Arenado has obviously shown the ability to come up with some big hits. I think you'd like to see a little bit more from him offensively. It's good to see what Jordan Walker has done here. He got 1 hit today. And if you do look at his numbers recently, so if you go back to, let's go back. I did this yesterday. I'll do it again. If you go back to May 14th for Walker, because he got another hit today, the updated numbers there, in those 13 games, he's a .333 hitter with an .879 OPS. He's also coming up with big hits and driving in some runs. But again, I mean, the main point I want to get to here is today was the top of the order that really took care of business for the Cardinals, where it was Wynn going 4 for 5, Donovan 3 for 5, has the home run. Biggest hit of the game came from Donovan, the home run, drives in 2. And Lars Nootbaar goes 2 for 5 after his big day yesterday. So those are kind of my thoughts on what I saw today. I think it's a really, really good win for the Cardinals. Encourage you to chime in on this one. Multiple ways to get connected. Again, you can call or text. The text messages are rolling in. We'll get to those in just a second. Call or text 314-436-7900. 314-436-7900. You can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air, or if you are watching us on the video stream, all you got to do is leave a message, leave a comment in the chat, and we will respond to that as we move along. All right, let's get to some of the text messages that have started to roll in. From the 618 says, yes, Helsley deserves appreciation and praise. I so agree with your deserved attention to all the team players that you mentioned. Thank you. Yeah, this is they talked about this a lot on the broadcast tonight if you were listening, how one of the kind of the tenets of this team this year is the fact that they're every single night it's a different group of guys who are kind of driving the bus, and we saw that again tonight for sure. Our guy, Ball Game, coming in and saying his tip of the cap and raise to the glass going to the entire bullpen. says, as I mentioned last night, so many contributors as the confidence continues to build. Text message coming in from the 573 says, really good win for the Cardinals. I love how this team never gives up. That's what good clubs do. Yeah, it's a great ability to have to have the ability to come back. And like, I'm not trying to go all rah-rah here. You got to have good players to do that. But there is something to be said for teams that just have a belief. And, one thing that stuck out to me since the beginning, and it's really easy for this to be true in spring training. It's a lot tougher once the regular season gets started. But even when the Cardinals were 5 games under 500, this team has always really believed in themselves. They have, legitimately. That was what struck me in Jupiter, and that is what that's kind of the way I look at it right now. This team has always absolutely believed in themselves, and I think it's showing right now. And this team likes playing for each other. Like these guys like each other, and they want to go out and they want to pick each other up, all that stuff. Now, you can have a bunch of guys who aren't very good at baseball who like each other, and you're not going to win games. But if you've got a bunch of guys who are in a really good clubhouse with a really good environment and they are talented, it helps. You can get the most out of that group when it is there's been so much talk this year about this is a group that really likes showing up to the ballpark every day and has the attitude of, what can we accomplish today? And every single day is seemingly they've got a chance to win, and they win again today by a 6-4 score. Again, we welcome in your phone calls, your text messages, your tweets, and your chats on the video stream. If you do want to call or text, the phone number is 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. You can tweet at me, at Matt Pauley on air, and you can also leave a video chat, and we'll get to those coming up as well. Cardinals get the win today as they knock off the Baltimore Orioles by a 6-4 score. They take 2 of 3 in the series. We've got more coming up in just a moment. It is the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we are more than just a law firm. Our
Got her! Donovan hits it over the right field wall, and the Cardinals take the lead with nobody out in the 5th inning.
That thing got out of there quick. Big swing for Brendan Donovan today. That was fun to see, and it's a good win for the Cardinals. They beat Baltimore by a 6-4 score. It's the Extra Innings Show, presented by Gray Bar. Gray Bar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. My name is Matt Pauley. If you want to join the program, you can do so. Multiple ways to get connected with us. You can call or text the phone number, 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. You can tweet at us, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or if you are watching us on the video chat, you just leave or watching us on the video stream, you just leave a comment in the chat, and we can certainly get to that. In fact, let's get to one of those messages on the video as Scooter sends in a message, says, I have to say that Oliver Marmol appearing on the Gas House Gang on Tuesdays has been really good. The panel doesn't sit and throw him softballs, and Ollie's candor is refreshing. He showed up when the club wasn't playing well, and he's the same when they are on a winning club. Said anything to add to Ollie being on Tuesdays. So I think people who listen to me often know that I am a fan of Oliver Marmol. I think he's a good manager. I agree with most the moves he makes, not all the moves. And I'll tell you what, there are times where I'm sitting here doing this show and I'll disagree with something he does, and then something's going to happen the next day, and I'll go, oh, okay. One game kind of connecting to the other. He sees ahead of what's going on a little bit better than little old me. So I'm an Oliver Marmol guy. I've got no problem saying that whatsoever. Here's the thing, and I hope you've checked out the Tuesday conversations. And look, like Scooter just sent in a message, and on the screen where we've got the video stream set up, I can see it. So before I ever put it on the screen, for those of you who are watching, I see the message. What I'm looking at right now is the exact same thing that Ollie looks at on Tuesdays. So whether they address a comment or whether it goes up on the screen or not, he can see these. And we all know there are people out there who do not like Oliver Marmol. And he addresses the stuff that they say, even if they're mean to him. He responds to it. And I think it's really important to him that fans do have an understanding of why he makes decisions. That's why I appreciate his post-game press conferences, because he's really good at explaining things, but that's still kind of in the heat of the battle, if that makes sense. Whereas I think on Tuesday and other opportunities that he can get on, it shows a little bit more of who he is in a non-post-game press conference setting. And I hope more and more people watch and pay attention to the Tuesday show. And I hope more and more people are open-minded about Ollie, because, again, I think he does a very, very good job. I think you need good players to win, and he's got good players. But there is credit that goes to Ollie for what this team is accomplishing this year, and the way he's kind of just the culture that exists on this team, and I appreciate that. So, good stuff from Scooter talking about those Tuesday conversations. If you don't catch it live on Tuesdays, Kevin Wheeler and I will generally take some of the snippets from it and play them back during the Redbird Rush Hour if we have a Tuesday show, which we don't always have a Tuesday show. And, of course, you can always go back and catch the archive, whether you're watching the video version of it or you find the podcast version. Wherever it might be, you can go ahead and find it for yourself. What's on Deck is sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com. So the Cardinals, they are going to enjoy an off day in Texas tomorrow. I don't know for sure if they are going to be flying out tonight or not. I know that because the weather was bad in Baltimore, they had plans in place where they could stay an extra night in Baltimore if need be. But everything is kind of fluid in situations like those. Either way, they'll have the day in Texas tomorrow, no matter when they actually get there. And then they will open up a 3-game series against the Rangers coming up on Friday night. Matthew Liberatore is going to open up the series on Friday. The lefties 3-3 with a 2.73 ERA. Sonny Gray and Eric Fetty are also scheduled to pitch over the course of the 3-game series before the Cardinals get back home coming up next week. That is just about going to do it for this edition of the program. Again, the Cardinals, they come away with a 6-4 victory, really good win. They beat Baltimore. They take 2 of 3 from the Orioles. They kind of caught Baltimore when they were playing some of their best baseball of the year, and they were still able to take 2 of 3. So a good series, a good comeback win today. They've been coming back a lot. They've been finding ways to win, no matter what area of the team might not be completely on point from one night to the next. Everybody else seems to pick them up. So we'll talk to you again on Friday. I'll have you for Redbird Rush Hour and Sports Open Line tomorrow here on KMOX.
This is Tom Ackerman. Like a Hall of Fame talent, an